Okay, folks, regarding some news about Russia, terrorism, etc., we have to speak. I don't generally do this. I've actually never done this before, but now I just feel I have to. We have a situation in Ukraine ongoing for a while now, which seems to be escalating rather than de-escalating. We have the Russians unveiling a new missile with the name Obama on it. That's pretty weird, right? A Russian official is also stating that if they have stated that if NATO tanks, NATO personnel moves in on Russian borders, they will use tactical nukes, tactical nuclear weapons to take them out. I don't think I've ever heard this kind of rhetoric before, even in the Cold War days. So this is pretty serious in my mind. We also have Lavrov and Samantha Powers, the ambassador for US, in the United Nations Security Council, speaking, arguing with each other, exchanging verbal salvo, if you will, about who is to blame in the Ukraine situation, etc., etc. In the Western media, and this is the issue here. This is very provocative to be a citizen of a Western country, to see that the media in our Western nations very little or none at all reports the fact that the United States were the instigators of the overthrow of democratically elected Yanukovych. They used $5 billion or something to democratize Ukraine. We also see oil prices dropping like a stone thrown in a pond, into a pond. We have economic warfare is going on. That's what's going on. And the same signals we saw before the Second World War is exactly what's going on now. Although the enemies have changed a little bit. It's of paramount importance to point out that it is not, I repeat, it's not the Russians who are the provocateurs here, or the aggressors. It's the United States and its Western allies. And I'm living in one of those countries who is allied to the US. And this is just despicable, and I won't stand for it. So, if you want to start a conflict in Europe, you're gonna meet a lot of guys like me who won't have it and will say no to you, and will probably be looked on as traitors. I don't know. I just want peace. I just want freedom. And if anyone tries to take that away from me, I will die in the attempt to keep it, and to keep it for my fellow human beings. We have to recognize that we have to recognize who has the moral authority in this situation, who is in the right, so to speak, and that's definitely not the US. And as long as this crisis continues, with the hawks in Washington getting their wishes, this thing will escalate and we will have a third world war. A major conflict that might end in the annihilation of the human race and all life as we know it. Media have to take a large part of the blame here, because this is starting to become more than just ridiculous. It's ridiculously dangerous. That's what it is. And if you don't know the circumstances around the situation. If you don't know the entirety of the situation, you can't assess the situation correctly, and you can therefore not produce a correct result. It's like doing a mathematical equation and you don't have the right numbers, or you don't know the right numbers to put in there. The equation will come out wrong, right? As is the case in the Ukraine conflict. We have to recognize who is doing what, who is threatening who, and we have to resolve this crisis in a peaceful manner between people recognizing that the different nations have different interests. And Russia's interest is not having NATO rocket batteries all around its borders. This is gonna lead to a major conflict, and everyone should be aware of this. They should know what is going on. They should also not be allowed to be deceived by the bought and paid for media. To document this, you can look at the Swiss the Swiss Institute for Technologies study about who owns what in the media world, media conglomerates, and recognize what's going on. This is a designed crisis, and we need to resolve it quickly before things get worse. And we need to do it now, quickly, before more people loses their life. This is about the principles of freedom, the principles of individuality, the principles of sovereignty, the principles of private property, the principles of liberty. If everyone is focusing on Russia annexing Crimea, but you have to understand why Russia annexed the Crimea. They annexed it because they were threatened by the US-friendly government in Kiev. Is Crimea gonna be walked on by NATO troops? Are we gonna have NATO bases there? This is absurd, guys. And the longer they are allowed to play this invented drama out, the more dangerous it becomes, because there is a real threat, and the threat is towards Russia, not from Russia. And everyone with eyes and the clarity of view to research the situation will understand this pretty easily, pretty fast, because it's not difficult at all. You just have to recognize that there is a power struggle here. You can see economic warfare being carried out, and it all points to the same thing that we saw during the phase before the Second World War. We saw economic warfare, we saw opinion shaping going on, and human beings need to learn from their mistakes and don't be played by the puppet masters, because the puppet masters can't do much if you know their illusion. This is all an illusion, guys. This is a real dangerous illusion, but it's a game, and they're playing it out, and they're playing on people's fears, they're playing on people's wants and their needs. This has to stop, guys. And I'm gonna say it again. You're gonna have to kill me, and I suspect there's a lot of guys like me that you're gonna have to get rid of. I think it was Bertrand Russell who said, many will die opposing the New World Order, protesting it. Yeah, well, so be it. Peace. That's what we want, not war. And anyone attempting to start a war will be hunted down eventually and taken care of. Or God will take care of it. This is Ken from Norway, signing out. Open your eyes, people. You have to wake up to this, recognize it for what it is, and say no.